Hey everyone, this is Cappy, and you're listening to Just the Plate, a production of Beyond the Plate. Just the Plate is a short segment where chefs describe a dish or a recipe that is meaningful to them. Last week, you heard from Chef Dan Jacobs. If you listened to that episode, probably an inspiring one for you. He's the executive chef and owner of DanDan, Esterev, Fauntleroy, and a couple others in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, along with his business partner, also named Dan. They are back-to-back James Beard Award nominees for Best Chef Midwest category. In regards to social impact, this guy was diagnosed a few years ago with Kennedy's disease. So they do a lot to raise awareness for this disease. They do a series of events called Dim Sum and Give Sum, as well as plenty of other things he uses his voice for good on. So if you missed last week's episode, be sure to check that out. But for now, it's Christmas Day, y'all, and Dan is a white Jewish man. And as a white Jewish male myself, Chinese food on Christmas Day is a thing, people. Some say it's because it's all that was open on Christmas, but there's also other stories that date back to 1935 when I was doing some research. So Google around, see for yourself what these stories are of why so many Jewish people have Chinese food on Christmas. Anyhow, Dan is going to walk us through Cumin Lamb Dumplings. These sound really delicious. If you haven't made dumplings at home, this may be a thing for you. If you don't love lamb, don't tell them I told you this. Try it with beef. Try it with another ground meat product, if you will. But these sound delicious, very doable, and you hear the story of how they came about. I'm just going to stop talking here. This is Just the Plate.
Hi, I'm Dan Jacobs. I own and am the chef at DanDan Restaurant, Esterev, Fauntleroy, and Ash in the Iron Horse Hotel. And today we're going to be doing Cumin Lamb Dumplings. These came about because people for some reason, didn't buy the cumin lamb with the silver needle noodles. Also, if you've ever made silver needle noodles, it's kind of a pain in the butt. And so we decided to skip it and turn it into a dumpling. So we start with the filling. Pretty simple. We do 1 pound of ground lamb. I like to use the scales because we put everything in grams. So I have your digital scale out. We're going to do 10 grams of toasted and ground cumin, 3 grams of toasted and ground black pepper, and 6 grams of toasted and ground Szechuan peppercorns. We're going to toast these, in a dry saute pan, add it to a coffee grinder or spice grinder or a blender, and then add that to the ground lamb. And then with that, we're going to add 60 grams of chopped scallions. This is fairly minced. We're going to add 20 grams of chopped garlic, 10 grams of chopped ginger. Again, both of those things are fairly minced. And then we're going to add 12 grams of soy sauce, 12 grams of Shaoxing rice wine. If you cannot find Shaoxing rice wine, you could use dry sherry. Any sort of cheap dry sherry works actually pretty well. Even an expensive one probably works pretty well. Then we do about 30 grams of sambal or any sort of chili garlic sauce. We're going to do 10 grams of salt and 20 grams of sugar. And we're going to mix all that up till it's well mixed together. And then you just buy some wonton wrappers at the store. Basically, what we do is we do kind of like a tortellini fold almost on it, but you can just wet your fingers, place about a tablespoon of filling in the middle of a circle or a square, and then fold over with a little bit of water on your fingers, and you can seal it. These take about 3 minutes in boiling water, and you can kind of cut one open just to make sure you're not serving a bunch of raw lamb. And then we serve it in a very brothy sauce. So it's cumin lamb dumplings with a sauce of, we take a mix of about 500 grams of chicken stock, 100 grams of chili, garlic, either oil or sambal, and then 100 grams of black vinegar. That's one of those things you kind of got to find black vinegar because it kind of works for that. And then 10 grams of sugar. We bring that up to a boil. We serve a ladle of the sauce with about 5 dumplings in a bowl, and then garnish it with a little bit of fresh cilantro and chopped scallion greens. And that's about it.
Amazing, dude. Thank you so much. That was perfect, spot on, and sounds doable. I may try making these at home.
It's actually remarkably doable. It's like, this is one of those, It's funny. So we used to do these silver needle noodles with the cumin lamb, and it basically was. So once service started, you have like 20 or 30 minutes before things get busy, and everyone on staff would be rolling silver needle noodles. Everyone, and it just got to a point where it was like we can't do this anymore. And then people would do weird things, like people would order the cumin lamb with silver needle noodles, and then be like, the cumin lamb is very cuminy. It's too cuminy.
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
Like, it literally fucking says that in the first thing. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh God.
But it was frustrating. And so we took it off, and then we put it back as a dumpling, and nobody has a problem with it. Like everybody's like, this is great.
Sounds amazing.
Again, thank you so much.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I really, really enjoyed it. And like I said, man, you do this very, very well. So congratulations. Like it's good.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll come back up to Milwaukee sometime, or maybe next time you're in Chicago.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I'll see you soon.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.
Find more on Chef Dan Jacobs by Googling Dan Jacobs. I'm kidding. Find him at dandanmke.com. This episode is produced by myself, along with Ian Cohen and Joel Eaton. Find me and keep up to date with this podcast across all social media platforms at On Cappy's Plate, or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. Beyond the Plate is on Twitter at BT Plate Podcast and Facebook. Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on your listening site of choice. Thank you for listening to Just the Plate, a production of Beyond the Plate. I'm Cappy.